All right, the 300. You see that?
Whew, steep discount. I like it. I'll
That's
take
a
it.
that's a money glitch right there,
Yes,
dude.
exactly.
All right. Very simply, like let's say there's numbers, right? One, two,
Mhm.
three, four, five. 4, let I equal 0. And while I is less than numbers.length. So right now, numbers.length is 5, right?
Mhm.
And I is 0, right?
Mhm.
So you're saying while I is less than numbers.length, so while I is less than 5, do this code down here. Each time you run this block of code, I'm going to add 1 to I, right?
Mhm.
Gonna run 1 for 0. It's gonna run 1 for 1,
Mhm.
because 1 is still less than 5, right? Then it's gonna run 1 for 2. 2 is less than 5.
Mhm.
3. 3 is less than 5. Then it'll run 4, and that's gonna be 5 times. And I will become 5. And then is 5 less than 5? No, right?
No.
So then it'll end the code right there. That's how I think about a for loop.
Okay.
I have a total count, and I equal that to 0. And then I need to make total count equal total count plus 10. And by the end, um, let's do it the right way. All right. What would you expect total count to equal at the end of this whole thing? So the first time I is 0, we're gonna add 10 to total count, right?
Right.
So
Oh,
now,
okay. I got it. So it's not. It can't be. It's not one
yes,
plus at this total count. So then it's going to be 50.
exactly. Okay, yeah, you got it
Okay,
right.
I got it. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I see where I was thinking plus one, and then I plus total count. But we're only increasing total count. That's it. And
Exactly.
at the same time looping through. Where's at this point though? Like I know we have I here, but where is that number being like stored?
I is stored here because it's a let variable, right?
Okay, and but we have 0, and we
Mhm.
start at 0, then it goes, and it automatically just updates let.
Up, yes, it updates
Okay.
here in this incrementer,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes back.
Goes back and now it says, hey, we're I's now 1.
Yeah.
Like you said, the same through goes through that loop 4 more times before 5 is eventually 5 less than 5.
Mhm.
But by that time, we've added.
So it goes through like this is its own little piece of code, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it goes, hey, I is 0, hey, is I less than 5? Oh, okay, it is. All right, plus plus, and then it goes, okay, I is now 1, is less than it. So this is its own little track, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever's in here is its own little track. But right here, you can use I inside of this block of code as well. So like a good way, I'll just go into the for loop file.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to show you like for let I equal 0, I, and let's make that range. All right, so that's how our code looked earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So if I show you the incrementer, it's gonna go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Right.
And then if I want to use this index here, so this log will go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can traverse or kind of go through this array, right? So it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's try this code out. So here you see that I is 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
I is 0. And so and then I'm asking, okay, print out range I. So range I would be range 0 first,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so on. And then I becomes 1. And so this is kind of like how you can kind of traverse through it. And so say I want to do something like add to range. Okay. So I start off like here, and then I say add to range dot push on the range of I plus 2. So in the end, all right. So what do you expect add to range to be here if you had to read it?
So the first one's gonna be 3,
Okay, that's correct.
and then after that, then 3, and then 4,
Or
5, 6, 3, 6.
yes, 4. So it'd be 3. Wait.
6, 3, 6, then 6.
Wait, now I'm getting my math wrong. Hold on.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know.
All right, oh, wait,
Because
1 plus, oh yeah, so it'd be 3, 4, 5, and 6. Correct.
wait, what?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I thought we're
Uh,
adding 2 each time.
So we added 2 to each element inside of the array.
Oh shit, I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know
no,
as far
I
as
know, I
like
see where you're getting confused because
Mhm.
when I've added 2, maybe you expected the 2 to get added onto the I,
Yeah, like
but right now we're not touching I, right? Like if that was the case, we'd say plus 2 here.
right. And I think that's what it is because so like I in itself is independently running, and
Right.
then now the 2 range is saying, hey, what's I status right now? And it's going, oh, I's 3. Okay, well then give it 2 again. And then it loops again, and then I independently is +1, the I plus plus,
Mm-hmm.
and it runs, and it's still underneath the range. And
Mm-hmm.
then add 2 range again, it's going, hey, what's the status of I? Oh, it's 2 now. Okay, great. Let's add 2 to it. Now we got 4. So then it's
That's perfect, actually.
okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Damn.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, so,
So I think
yeah,
that
I see what you're saying. Like, we're
mm-hmm.
going to add 2 range, right? And push is just adding on something onto the end of the array. So right now we're at now we're saying like, hey, what are you? I, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I is like, hey, right now I'm 1,
Mm-hmm.
which in range is 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
I plus 2 here, and that's how we get the new value, right? I think that's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. It's pretty simple, right?
That one is, but nothing else.
Okay. But for loops and conditionals are like the bread and butter of coding.
Mm-hmm.
Like for loops is how you're going to like on a website, no one's gonna like put HTML like 100 times for like I don't know, like Facebook, like
Mm-hmm.
all the comments and stuff. I think there's comments in Facebook. I don't know. Like all the
Yeah.
posts. Yeah. So like usually like the posts, it'll go through a for loop of like the object, the data
Mm-hmm.
structure. So it'll be like, oh, what are you thinking today? Or like that post title, and then it'll have comments and likes, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll iterate over it, and it'll be like, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it'll display it on the page. So the for loop is very powerful with an array of objects.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And just real quick, can you go back to the README page that we had the plus the okay. I just wanted to make sure, like I thought the I wanted to make sure that that total count was let and not
Okay.
const, because I was like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure, like,
Okay.
um,
And then like here, if you put const, it would totally break it as well.
yeah, it's not going to work, right? Because it's going to keep going. Hey, you can't change it.
Yes.
Okay,
Exactly. Cool. All right.
cool. All right.
We got for loop, but I feel like we're gonna have to drill it more in next time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, definitely.
let's go over this stuff next time. And I think we can go through for loop and while loop on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But while loop is very similar. It's like while a condition, keep doing it until that condition.
Mm-hmm.
And then so you do have the if else now for sure. And then the switch case.
Okay.
I want you to do this exercise here and just message me if you need some help.
Okay, Stan. Yeah, thanks again. And I guess now everybody saw my homework, and so I'll look and see if anybody posts their homework, and so I can look and we can compare, contrast, type of thing. So that'll be cool.
All right, cool. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you on Friday.
All right, thank you. See you Friday. Have a good one. Bye.
Can you kind of fill in the blanks here? So it could add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 together.
So we can add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 together.
Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
so we have an initialized total count up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I want to do at step 1, let's just write it out here in pseudocode. I want a total count plus equals on 1, right? And then next I want to do total count plus equals on 2, or I want this is just short syntax. I think we went over it. It's just like a plus, but you can do like other numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can actually do the 1, 2. So total count plus equals on 3, total count plus equals on 4, total count plus equals on 5. So I am incrementing this at the index of numbers at 0, numbers at 1, numbers 2, numbers 3, numbers at 4. So these are kind of the steps that I'm going through. So I start at 0. I want to add 1. I want to add 2 to the 1 now. That's 3. I want to add 3 to the 3, 6. Now I want to add 4. And then it's 10. And then it's 15, right? So how would I go about that within a for loop?
I don't have a clue because I'm looking at it and it's 0. I know it's less than 5. I know it's gonna keep looping from here. Like, okay, yeah, it's gonna loop, but in my mind, it's just like, I don't know, go, like do it. I don't know what.
No, that's very close. I think yes, I honestly just want to say, hey, it's like really obvious. Just do it, you know?
Yeah, but I don't know what. I know that's not it. So
yeah, so like I think it would just be total count plus equals on the global variable numbers and then I. So
that's what it is. Okay, so we have to start. We got to start somewhere, and we're going to start with, because I is 0, and so it's going to start at here, and it's going to go, hey, we're 0. It's less than 5. Okay, let's add it. Add +1, and then now our total count should be 1.
Yes.
No, wait, no, 1. Yeah, 1 plus 1.
1 plus 0 first, because we
Oh yeah.
initially.
Oh, sorry, 0. Yeah, 1 plus 0, so we have 1.
And
And
I
then
is still less than 5, right? After it's yeah, 0, so you go back to 1.
So now I got 1, and again less than 5, so add again 2, and then I'm gonna take my total count, which was 1 the first time, plus 2 now, and I should get 3. But I'm not great at math after that, so then I should console log something. Console. And this should tell me, like, after each time it runs through, I should see it like increase.
Okay, let's try it out. So let's just make a nice for loop .js. Copy paste that there and follow me into for loop.js. So we need the numbers to let numbers equals 0 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then maybe we could refactor this to say numbers dot length. Let's just see what's going on here. I'll just log everything right now.
Right.
We have not mutated. We have not added anything to total count yet, right? Because it's running line by line, right?
Right.
So we're adding to total count at the end on line 9. So these logs are up here. So on the first loop is 0, 1, and then he's 0, right? Total count is 0 right now, right? Right here, total count is 0
Right.
on line 7. And then the next loop, total count is different, right? Because we're doing it at the end. Or maybe this will make more sense.
Can you move that one back to where it was?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I think it's just because we're starting with 1.
Mm-hmm.
So like if it was 6, I'd be okay. I 0. Hey, we're in array 0, and that number is 6.
Mm-hmm.
Our total count is 0. So what's 0 plus 6? 6. Let's loop
I
and go
think,
back.
okay,
Is that?
maybe this will make more sense too.
I mean, but is that right? That's what's going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Before total count gets added, something added to it, total count is 0, right? Before we add on
Before
line
we end.
7, and
Right.
then yeah, and then it adds, and then after total count is 1 at the end of the loop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the let it loop, and then now I is 1. The next number is 2. Before we add anything to total count, it's 1. And then after we add, it's 3, right?
Right.
All right. And then so on. And it keeps going and keeps going. And we can add like a bunch of stuff here. Like,
Because it's just going to keep going because we have numbers, not length.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Code, right? So let x equal 0 while x is less than 5. I want to increment x, right? So
Yep,
then
we're gonna,
at the first one, it'll be like x is 1, 2, and then 4, and then at 5 it'll break, right?
mm-hmm.
Kind of like a for loop. It's the same thing. So there's just two different ways to write it. But for loop does have a little bit more rules, like right in your face, I think. And while sometimes it gets a little crazy, you get caught in like in an infinite loop all the time. Like a lot of games, right?
Yeah.
I'll use a while loop, like while, and then because you just have to keep running it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like while true, and then it's like if, and then it's like if player dot move equals left, and then it just keeps running the code like it's in a forever loop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Because I remember like before just doing like exactly that with the games is like
Yeah,
while the left key is pressed, like player moves like 5 pixels to the left. Like that's it. Just like
exactly. So usually like in a game block, it's gonna be stuck in an infinite loop, but in like front end, back end development, you don't really have that kind of stuff.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so but the other way to write a while loop is like a do while loop, but that's like a very old way to write it. But I still use it this way sometimes, and it's like more semantically correct in my opinion. It's like
Mm-hmm.
do that while this is true.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like how I think about it. So it's just the same thing here. While condition block of code, it's just do block of code and then while the condition.
Okay.
It's however you want to do it. It's just All right. So now number 2, make an array of numbers and iterate over the array using a while loop.
Do I get is my L there? Length. I don't know why. But there we
Okay.
go.
And now you forgot the
My
parentheses.
param
Yeah. All right.
parentheses.
Cool. So it's very similar to the for loop, right? The while
Mm.
loop. Like if else and switch are very similar. For loop and while loop are very similar. It's just like different syntax, but they have their cases for both. All right, so cool. So you have a condition and you have something that's kind of like changing the condition.
Hmm.
So that's always important to always like have something to change the condition, or else you're gonna get stuck in a while loop. Like if we did this, right?
Hmm. It's just gonna keep.
It's
Well,
just gonna it's gonna go forever, right? And so,
I see. It's gonna keep logging the 1 every
yeah,
single time,
yeah,
or the 0 space of the array.
yeah. So you could do something like let condition equal like true, or like something like keep going while, and then you can say like while keep going, um console.log I'm going, and then you can say something like if, and here maybe you can say like I plus plus, and if I is, wait, no, if I is over 10, or let's do it until 9, we can say keep going equals false, right? And that would be kind of another way to write it.
So it's looking at our I all the way here, starts at 0. It's going to say, it's going to, while keep going is true, I'm going. And then finally, if I is less than 9, keep going is, oh, we're going to change keep going is false once it goes to 10. And then
Exactly.
that's what's going to stop our loop here.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. And then it did run the 2 while loops. So it started I at what was it? It was a 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. You understand the while loop?
We'll find out. We'll find out when we go over again. I'll do the last homework, the one that you gave me, and then I'll see if I'll dabble in the while loop stuff. And if I get the answer for this one, um, yeah, we'll go from there.
Okay.
That homework is interesting. I know I got to do math, and I know I got to add it up,
Yeah.
and then I got to divide by the length of the array.
Why don't you do a median too? I think I have my Notion open or something.
What's median?
I think median is if you sort the numbers and then the middle number.